got my boy Jamel Wright, the Jets of Harlem, on the hot seat. What's going on, Jamel?
What's up, Edmund? How are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. After what Fats did, I just got to jump in, man. I can't pull no punches now.
Okay.
Jets of Harlem, Harlem football. When you think of Harlem football, you think of the Abyssinian Crusaders. How the Jets gonna change that?
Basically, all we can do is change that on the field, man. You can't really talk about that anymore. It has to be done on the field, you know, and that's by creating a winning tradition in Harlem. Because for the last few years, we've had losing tradition on every level.
Okay, so give me predictions. Crusaders, Jets, Week 5. Are we going 5-0? Are we going?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So I can put it in the book.
I'll sign it right now.
All right. So Jets of Harlem gonna sweep the Crusaders Week 5.
Week 5. That's total all
No
out.
questions asked.
Every game.
128 belongs to
Jets of Harlem.
Jets of Harlem. All right. Well, another question for you. Tiny Mike team. How do you lose to the 0-3 Renegades, bro?
It was a hard-fought game. My guys gave it 110%. Just turned out that Courtney's team pulled it out at the end. What more can you say? They were up. We came back. They scored one at the end. Time expired. Game over.
All right. Okay.
Can't take anything away from them. I mean, just because they're an 0-3 team doesn't really represent, you know, the type of team that they have. They just happen to have 3 tough games in a row.
Okay.
You know.
And yours wasn't so tough.
No, I wouldn't necessarily say they weren't so tough. They just, you know, they weren't as tough as his were. That's
okay. Well, let me ask you. You had a great junior PB team last year.
Yes.
Great junior PB team last year. Now, here's some kids are staying down, some kids are going up. So now you got some pressure. You've been moved down to Division II, and we'll talk about how it feels to get moved down to Division II, and if you thought it was justified. But which team's going to win, the PBs or the junior PBs?
I actually think both of them are going to win. I think we're going to have success on every level this year.
Okay.
Purely because there were some kids the kids that moved on were those kids that were exceptional. But the kids that stayed behind, we paid attention to them. We've been training them well since, I guess, March. So those guys are ready, man. You know, in addition to some new players that registered with us, that played with a few other different programs that are, you know, were veterans on at their team.
A few other programs. So we have some more defections.
Oh, absolutely.
Going on.
Absolutely.
That's by the way, you might not know, that's going to be the word of the season this year, defections.
Okay.
Well, you guys are now in Division II. Do you feel it's a demotion? Do you feel it's just right for the Jets? How do you feel about being in Division II now? At
this particular point in time, I feel that it's just right. I had a conversation with all of my senior staff members, coaches that have been with me for a while, and we all kind of felt that it was a good thing for us to take a step back, and then we can springboard forward in the near future. But right now, that's where we need to be, kind of regroup, build our kids up, and then we do what needs to be done.
All right, well, last question. After you lose on every level Week 1, because you're playing a really tough team on South Bronx Chargers. After you lose on Week 1 and you have to regroup, every team's 0-1, what do you tell the kids at the end of the game?
To be perfectly honest, that's highly unlikely. I mean, you know as well as I do, we're going to take the brakes off y'all, boy.
Well, you know what? He got off easy with that one. It's a wrap for the hot seat. Coach Jamel, thank you for coming out.
Absolutely. Enjoy.
I'll see you Week 1.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
We're back. Bonehead. Who's the Bonehead player or players or coaches of the week?
Well, I was on the phone earlier. I was hoping to get him in the studio with Coach Jamel Wright from the Jets of Harlem. He's been telling me how wonderful his Tiny Mike division is.
What's the record?
1-2. But he was telling me they were great. And then I come to hear that this weekend they lost to the 0-3 Brooklyn Renegades. You cannot have a championship Tiny Mike team and lose to the 0-3 Brooklyn Renegades. No offense, Courtney. No offense.
On that note, I think I'm going to just kind of move on. Well, let me just say this to you. Jamel Wright did a wonderful job in the game. The kids had a lot of fun. I mean, he's a great coach. But I'm going to pass that because I was at the same field, and the Bonehead Player of the Week or the Bonehead Coach of the Week, Jamaica Bulldogs celebrating on the field. The coaches are celebrating on the field, high-fiving, giving each other high five with their bodies in a Tiny Mike game.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Somebody didn't make the NFL. Somebody was upset.
Yeah. Guys, you're not playing. The kids are.
right. Remind them of that again.
You're not playing.
You're not
the
playing.
Kids are.
The kids are playing.
All right.
I mean, again, I think one of the biggest problems in the Tiny Mike division would be is that I think the people get over exuberant. It's an instructional division, and I think that's one of the things that the league needs to look at really carefully and try to get coaches to understand that we're here to help the kids and instruct them to enjoy this sport that we all love, not to get so crazy about winning every game.
Tiny mites, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids, they're just writing their names.
Kid can't even put his helmet on.
You know, exactly.
So, I mean, just putting your helmet on is
clap it up for him.
Exactly, right?
You know?
Right.
That's a good job right there.
From our last segment, or our last time we shot the show, the Bonehead Coach of the Year was who? I think it was from the Mariners.
Yeah, from the Mariners.
Yeah, you can't let Coach Mouse get out of the stable. And I'm telling you, the Mariners are going to have a lot of problems this year if they don't have some effective coaching coming in, and if the coaches if they don't get new coaches or more coaches that are experienced, they have a hard season this year.
Well, the quote I leave, the last thing I'm gonna say is that defections is the word of the season. Defections.
We always talking about the predictions for Division 1 and 2, but before we get to any predictions, interview with Coach Fats.
That's probably the first time, Courtney, I've ever asked someone questions and had my temperature turned up on a hot seat.
I thought that Coach Fats was actually doing the hot seat interview.
Me too. I think he's trying to take over, and not just the Bronx.
And Coach Fats is usually a very low-key guy. He doesn't usually say a lot, but that interview, wow.
Well, you know what, Coach, like you said, he's low-key. I think Coach Fats held some things back, you know, and took the politically correct way out for the most part.
For the most part.
In that interview, but, you know, he's definitely got some things he wants to prove this year.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the Mighty Mite division in Division 2. Top team, Mighty Mites. I'm looking at the Crusaders, possibly the Chargers, the Jets of Harlem. Here's what's funny to me. The Crusaders, or rather the Chargers, flying really low underneath the radar.
We're trying.
Well, you went to the Super Bowl last year.
We
won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, we did that too.
So you're actually the Metro Division champion. How could you not say this team's not going to come back and make a serious run for number 1 in the Mighty Mite division?
Well, you know what? All my Chargers players that are out there watching, Coach Edmond is proud of you. I know you guys can do it, but we don't want any pressure.
It's only a 20-minute show.
We're just trying to play games. You know, Chargers definitely, I think they're looking strong. I mean, I've coached them. They're looking strong, but the Crusaders and the Jets, not to be slept on.
No, and the Crusaders, the thing about the Crusaders is the Crusaders always have very good teams from either the top end or the bottom end. And they've been in the Super Bowl 2 times in Big Apple football. Not last year, the year before. A lot of people sleeping on that. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm again looking at the Crusaders as being definitely a top team. And then if you go into the Junior Pee Wee division, who's not going to like the Chargers? The players have got to be moving up, Coach.
Well, you know, good thing about the Chargers is they had that whole Mighty Mite team is coming back and they're split in half. We got some on Junior Pee Wee, some on Mighty Mites. We got the Metro Mighty Mite Player of the Year, Metro Defensive Player of the Year on that Junior Pee Wee team. We're looking to do some big things.
So if you lose the game or you don't win the season,
you can put me on the Bonehead section.
You definitely on the Bonehead section.
But hey, you can't forget about the Jets of Harlem.
The Jets of Harlem.
Top team in the Big 8 last year on that Junior Pee Wee level, and they got kids staying down.
And not only that, Coach Jamel has gotten a taste of Division 1. Going on to Division 2 shouldn't be a problem for Jamel to handle the pressure. He should do extremely well. Co-op City.
Co-op City, listen, their best team last year were the Mighty Mites.
Yes.
Coach Ivor took them under his wing personally and righted that ship. Yes. This year he's moving up with the Junior Pee Wees. I'm banking on that being their best team. They're going to be in the playoffs and in the hunt for the championship.
Wow, which means Co-op City is going to have definitely an influx of kids. There's a lot of kids.
Yeah, lots of kids in Co-op City.
Okay, Pee Wee division. We're looking at the Jets. No question in my mind, me personally, I'm choosing the Jets as the Super Bowl champions. I'm calling them now.
I like to joke with Coach Jamel, and I tell Jamel, I don't have a Pee Wee team this year just because they've already won a championship. Well, since the Jets have it already, I don't need to play.
One thing about this season for Coach Jamel is he just has to show up and win the games.
To show up and win the game.
I'll say this though, if Jamel loses, big disappointment in the division, and Coach Jamel is going to be called to the hot seat also.
Definitely.
Only people who could derail Coach Jamel, Tomahawks.
Tomahawks, great team. Great Pee Wee team last year, and I think that running back's coming back.
And Division 1 already was in Division 1 last year, so they have a Division 1 experience. Junior Midget Division, Chargers, and the Tomahawks.
Yep, Chargers was the top team in that Pee Wee division last year in the Metro, and the Tomahawks, can't count them out there. Junior Midgets are strong.
The funny thing about the Tomahawks is this. Darryl knows how to win. Darryl has been a champion in the league. He knows how to win. So, again, a lot of people are overlooking Darryl, but we'll see this year.
Well, I think we might have gone over our time, but we had to get all those predictions in. Division 2 is going to be a big season this year.